going to bankrupt in 2012, and that the elite that put money into the bank, when it bankrupts, those elite people will go into the bank, take it over, and take over every mortgage, everything, all of the accounts, all the credit cards, everything that people have, and the bank will then officially be in Rothschild's hands, where before it was surreptitiously in Rothschild's hands.
Well, this is incredible. Let me stop you, and I want you to elaborate, George Hunt, because now we see a small group of central banks bankrupting other banks by design to consolidate. That's in their own documents. We see the IMF and World Bank to be holding companies for the global tax money through what they did agree to at Copenhagen. And that's actually what they're now setting up. They're openly setting up what participants told you they were going to set up. Are they getting this position for 2012?
That's where they're headed from my last information, Alex. They don't slow down on their plans. They don't defer them. They just eliminate the problem for their plans to go through. People like me, of course. So, yeah, I would say there's going to be a major currency splash in 2012.
Or leading up to 2000, or leading up to 2012. I mean, this is already happening.
Yeah,
the globe is imploding by an engineered depression, and everything is falling to the house of Rothschild and Rockefeller. And every time they bust an oligarch in Russia, it turns out it was really owned by the Rothschilds. That's mainstream news.
Well, yeah, look at the news about Warren Buffett. He's accusing the Rothschild family of controlling the world gold market. He's probably right, because the Rothschilds set the price of gold twice a day in London for the world.
Unbelievable information. And again, when did you first start going public, releasing the videos of the conferences, releasing the audio, and saying all of this? Wasn't it like 20 years ago?
Yes. It was in 1988 that a preacher named Alan Dale, who had a radio station in Texas, was accused of having me on, and they said, "Look, if you have that guy George Hunt on again, you're going to lose your job." Well, he had me on again the next week, because this is earth-shattering news. Well, the station was immediately bought out, and Alan Dale lost his job.
And that's the issue. 22 years ago, they could stop stuff. Now they can't. It's out in the open. Stay there. George Hunt, incredible information. The website is with a V in the front, bigbank.com. Our websites are infowars.com and prisonplanet.tv. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
One major world crisis away from having a totalitarian type of system.
The main event is the wholesale destruction of the world economy.
The push for every nation on the globe to identify and number all of its citizens.
Friends, I hope that you will order Shadow Government from Infowars.com. We also have some specials where you can get some of our other films half price when you order Shadow Government. A new level in production quality and in information. It exposes how a cashless society, surveillance beast grid of total control is being put into place. This film needs to be seen. Everybody needs to get it. So order yours today. Show it to your friends, your family, your church, your neighbors, your boss, your employees. Shadow Government, ladies and gentlemen. Get your copy at Infowars.com today. Shadow Government. It gives Big Brother a black eye. Available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
What's your home worth? How can you compare local real estate agents? And how do you get MLS listings for the entire country? If you're thinking of buying a home to take advantage of a tax credit or selling your house, you first need to see an incredible website called HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com will help you find a realtor to buy or sell a home. It's so easy, and best of all, it's free. At HomeGain.com, you can compare realtors anonymously, receive customized proposals, see consumer reviews, then select the best realtor for you. Go to HomeGain.com and get an instant home value estimate, view comparable homes, and check out street views. HomeGain.com has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and contains a wealth of information, like their home improvement tool that helps you determine which home improvements to make to increase your home's value. See the top 12 home improvements right now at HomeGain.com. That's HomeGain.com. Look for Max, the Orange HomeGain Gorilla, to help you find a realtor or with any other real estate needs you might have at HomeGain.com, your real estate connection.
Way up north to Alaska, way up north to Alaska, north to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on.
Okay, final segment with George Hunt, and then I'm going to break down all the huge Bankergate news, what's happening with healthcare. It can be stopped. It looks like it's in conference right now. The flu fraud being fully exposed, but I want to go to calls. Mike, Herman, Terry, Ben. We're only taking calls specifically for George Hunt for your questions on this important issue of the global elite organizing the planet under the fraud of fake environmentalism to take your basic rights, your liberty, your property. And we played that clip yesterday of Australia where they're just grabbing all the farmers' land, literally in some areas all of it, and just saying it's off limits for carbon credits. You can't run cattle or sheep on your own land anymore. This is really happening, and it's happening here, and we've got to stop these people. When we got the SPP documents a few years ago from the North American Union meetings, it was the corporate leaders there running the government meetings with the bureaucracy saying, we're going to tax and pay ourselves the carbon tax. The good news is this is in trouble. George Hunt, are you not excited to see Copenhagen exposed? And you were talking about this 22 years ago, and people, some of them were laughing at you. Now it's all out in the open. Is that exciting you, George Hunt?
Oh, it's exciting me so much. My name is George Washington Hunt. I was born on Columbus Day, and I think that I have a mission to defeat these people, to help defeat these people. I had, when I was on the Jesse Ventura show, I said to the camera, I think they're going to win it. And the reason was that they're smarter than us. But if you take our combined intelligence, like I'm hearing coming out of you and you're hearing come out of me, we can whip these guys. We can get the Americans to cooperate.
Americans and others around the world just have to face their own documents, their own statements. I mean, in fact, I'll grab it. It's over here. I talk about this book every week on air, Eco-Science. I've scanned through the whole 1,100 pages, or whatever it is. Let me see how long it is. Yeah, the 1,100 pages. I've scanned through this, and it openly says poison the water supply, sterilize us, cut off our resources, bankrupt us. This is the White House science czar, John P. Holdren, wrote Eco-Science. I mean, there are literally thousands of white papers, books, publications where they openly state what they're openly doing. And now this guy gives press conferences, the White House science czar, saying they've got a secret program already manipulating the weather.
That's right. They've already they dreamed up these plans as far as hundreds of years ago, and the contemporary plans that we see where the banks are going down and so on is part of their plan that was conceived as far as I could see 100 years ago.
Okay, I want to go to calls, but first I want to play a few global governance clips for people that may have missed the last few of them that have occurred in the last 2 months. Herman Van Rompuy, the head of the EU, openly calling for global governance, saying that the UN global carbon tax is the heart of world government. The head of the EU, we have Gordon Brown calling for global governance. We have David Rothschild, the heir to this whole criminal fortune, calling for it. Here is David Rothschild from Copenhagen on Bloomberg TV.
It's past the point of talking. We know historically that the global governance the sort of agenda to these issues is very hard to try and is with all the best intentions, it's very hard to actually activate. We're seeing that right now. We're seeing a lot of fragmentation going on in Copenhagen, a lot of different agendas pulling in different directions. And I think what we really need to see is people on the ground starting to actually act upon the low-hanging fruit and start to try and move on the solutions that we have at hand.
In case you missed it, global governance.
It's past the point of talking. We know historically that the global governance the sort of agenda to these issues is very hard to try and is with all the best.
So there he is.